for allowing me to come today. God works in mysterious reasons. My wife's birthday was Thursday. She went away to Miami, so I thought I was just going to relax in the house and just enjoy being alone in the house. Sometimes us men need that. And then I ran into Pastor Wheeler Saturday, and we started talking, and he said, "Brother, come on to my church on Sunday and speak." I said, "Yes, sir, I'll be there." He said, "It's bow tie Sunday." I said, "Well, I'm a former Marine, so I follow orders." So I went home and picked it out and put it on Instagram, so I let Pastor see what I was wearing to church. But I met Pastor Wheeler over the death of our brother Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. Me and Kenny Jr., we were childhood friends. I grew up in White Plains, Greenberg, and I knew Kenny Jr. for many years. And also being a correction officer for the Westchester County Department of Correction, I knew his father as an elder in the Department of Correction. And that tragedy, through that tragedy, I met Brother Pastor, and we've been communicating ever since. And to watch a pastor come on the front line, not wait for people to tell him what to do, or just coming out because it's front page news. And this pastor stood up and he did what Jesus would have done, demand freedom, justice, and equality for our brother Kenneth Chamberlain. Now, I've been a correction officer for 23 years, and I am the New York representative of Blacks in Law Enforcement of America, and I was also the Northeast Region President of the National Black Police Association. And in those years, in dealing with the different organizations, I was blessed to travel the country and travel the world, seeing different cities and see how they handle crime and violence, and how they handle the relationship between law enforcement and the community that they serve. And I decided to announce last week that I will run for a city council seat. There's 3 seats open. I just need one. And running for the seat because over the 2 decades that I've been working in the county jail, I've watched 2 generations of black men from Mount Vernon come to jail. I've watched them grow up in the jail, and now I'm watching their sons and their grandsons come into jail. Now, they'll come to work, they'll come to jail and they'll work 3 jobs for $3 a week. They'll be on time, they'll be respectful, and they'll work hard. But what happens when they come back to the city of Mount Vernon? Yeah. First of all, there's no jobs for our kids. Come on. Me and another pastor, when we were sitting Saturday, pastor, he said that, well, the kids can't pass the test. Well, how can they pass the test when they can't graduate from high school? Come on, man. And we have a school system that is graduating functional illiterates in our city. Yeah. But yet, out of all the 3, listen to this now, out of all the cities that had a high population of black people, Mount Vernon is the only city that voted down their school budget. It's the only city in Westchester County that voted down their school budget that had a high population. And we had the most. Our school system is 95% us. But we didn't turn out for the vote. So I'm hoping that y'all will turn out and say yes to the school budget. Because this sister, Judith Johnson, is on point. And she's putting systems in place to address the needs of the people. There's over 7,000 single families in Mount Vernon, and most of them make under $33,000 a year. They need assistance. It's not about giving a free ride. It's about helping our people rise to the next level so they can be stakeholders in our city. That's what it's all about. So we as a people in the city must stand up. But what you also need, you need proper leadership. We have seen too many of our young people die in the city. And when there's death, there's always a buzzard riding around, flying around high. And a lot of times these politicians act like buzzards more than they act like elected officials. We got to change that. We got to change that. So I decided to run. I decided to step up. We need a city that's going to be known for the great ethnic cultures that's in the city.
Come on.
Mount Vernon is a beautiful city, has beautiful people in it. But if you travel the world, they only know about Sue's Rendezvous. Huh? We ain't known for our culture, we known for a strip joint. That has to change. That has to change, and it has to start in City Hall. You need a voice of the people in City Hall. With all the gun violence going on, not one city council person stepped up with the new gun legislation so we could keep these gangbangers, criminal people, criminals. I'm gonna say criminals, because we all grew up in a gang. 3 or 4 of us hanging out is classified as a gang, but that don't mean we was criminal. Kids gather together, there's nothing wrong with that. But we want to keep the criminals off the street. You need somebody in City Hall that's going to stand up when the DA's office is plea bargaining with known criminals to keep them off the street. Because poor families that's losing their kids to this violence, before they could blink an eye, put the kid in the ground, grieve for them, the kid's back on the street. And then the city doesn't have time to heal. The city must heal. Look at Memorial Field. How long is it going to take us to fix Memorial Field? Now, I'm known for disagreeing with the mayor, but I could work with anybody on truth. I could work with anybody on fairness. But if you cannot fix a park almost a decade, then something's wrong. Something's wrong with the system in City Hall. And it's not about a person, or somebody in particular, but it's just about City Hall's not functioning. Now, next week they're rallying to fix Fall Street Park. Why do we have to rally to fix our park? Why do we have to rally to fix potholes? I done blew 2 tires driving around Mount Vernon, so many potholes. Listen, this is church, we gotta tell the truth. And I'm here to tell the truth because I'm gonna be that type of elected official that's gonna be true to the people. I'm not in it for the money. I make good money at the county jail. It's not about the money, it's about the people. It's about y'all. And that's why I'm standing up. And I thank Pastor Wheeler for allowing me to come. And I hope everybody turn out to vote for this school budget. It's very important. It's very important that we get the school budget, because everybody's arguing over a school budget, but nobody argues over the $65,000 that it costs to house an inmate. So either we pay in the front end or we're gonna pay in the back end. At the end of the day, you're still paying. So let's pay for educating our children so they can go to college and they can come back and they can be stakeholders and they can open up businesses and they can hire more people. And one thing before I leave, one thing I will do, I will build a better relationship with law enforcement in the community here in Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
I believe that we should have more people that are born and raised in Mount Vernon on our police department. And as your city council person, I will make sure that we will have more people on our police department. I will make sure that we will take some of these houses that's burned down and nobody's doing nothing with it. We will rehab them and we will sell them to the police officers and say, live in our city, become stakeholders. See, because you ain't gonna beat Ray Ray in the head if you live next door to him. Because you know you're gonna see the mama, the grandmama, or the cousin in the grocery store. So you have to have a level of respect. That's what it was when I grew up in Greenburgh, New York. We didn't fear the police. The police was our dad's club football coaches. The police was our basketball coaches. The police was our friends. And they were white. So this is not a racial factor, but race plays into it because now they put all the black cops that's born and raised back on the street. They took them out from upstairs. Huh? How are they going to solve crime if nobody's talking to the police? They're talking about putting cameras in parks. Put the police in the parks. Put the police in the parks. We got it backwards here in the city, and we got to get it right. And one thing I'm also going to do, it takes 15,000 signatures to get on the ballot. So we're in the process of collecting these signatures. And it's an uphill battle because I'm going against the Democratic Party because they asked me in the interview, they said, would you mind being on the same paperwork as Janet DeFiore, the district attorney? I said, well, I don't have a problem with it. The people know where I stand. You need to ask her that question. I said, but what I will tell you, when I get elected, I'm going to put my foot deep in her behind as elected official, then as a community activist. So that ended the interview, and I knew I wasn't going to get picked by the Democratic Party. But that's what you need for an elected official in your community, to call it like it is. We're the only community in New York State, almost the country, that have a black mayor, a black city council, a black board of ed, a black controller. We have a black government with a black president, but we can't manage 4x4 square miles. So so no wonder Obama is not being respected in the White House when they see a black-run city can't run 4x4 square miles. I think I said enough. Thank you, Pastor. And for all of y'all that are registered voters, we will be outside because we need these signatures. I know separation between church and state, so I'll stand outside on the street. And I'll be honored for y'all to sign my petition. It's not a vote, it's just to get me on the ballot so we can have discussions on the truth of Mount Vernon in these debates. Not that usual political dogma that they give people in this city and then they do nothing when they get in office. Thank you very much and happy Father's Day.
Come on, let's give my brother a hand.